Picture this. The year is 30 AD. Jerusalem is swollen with pilgrims. It is Passover week, and the city, normally home to 40,000 people, now holds more than 100,000. Every inn is full. Every courtyard has people sleeping in it. The narrow streets of the lower city press close with bodies, animals, noise, and heat. Roman soldiers watch from the walls of Fort Antonia. The high priest is watching too. The city is a powder keg this week. It always is during Passover, a festival that celebrates liberation from oppression, celebrated by a people living under occupation. Rome knows what that combination can produce. So does Caiaphas. But this story is not about Rome, and it is not about the high priest. It's about you. You are a follower of a teacher from Galilee, not one of the 12 closest to him, just someone who heard him speak in the Galilee countryside 8 months ago and has not been able to leave. You gave up your fishing work. Your family thinks you've lost your mind. Maybe you have. You've been traveling with his group for months. You've watched him heal people. You've heard him speak in ways that made the Pharisees go quiet. You've watched crowds of thousands sit on hillsides and listen without moving. This week, something feels different. He rode into Jerusalem 4 days ago on a donkey, and the crowd laid cloaks and palm branches on the road in front of him. People were calling him the Son of David. The temple authorities have been watching him ever since. The tension is different from the usual tension. It has a weight to it. You don't know what is coming. Nobody in your group does. Or if they do, they're not saying it out loud. Using historical records, archaeological evidence, and first-century accounts, we've reconstructed what 24 hours as a follower of Jesus in his final week actually looked like. Not theology, not later interpretation, just the real experience. The limestone streets, the Passover preparations, the fear moving quietly through a group of Galileans far from home. Let's step back 2,000 years. You wake before dawn in a garden on the Mount of Olives. The group has been sleeping here on the eastern slope of the hill, outside the city walls, for several nights. It's safer out here than inside Jerusalem. Less chance of being recognized. Less chance of an encounter with the temple guards or Roman soldiers. The teacher has enemies now. Real ones. The kind with authority. The garden smells of olive trees and cold earth. Around you, others are already stirring. You can see the city across the Kidron Valley, its limestone walls catching the first gray of dawn. The Temple Mount rises above everything, its gold catching light that hasn't fully arrived yet. You've been in Jerusalem before, for festivals, but you've never looked at it from out here, from the hillside, in the dark before dawn, and felt this particular feeling, like standing at the edge of something. By mid-morning, the teacher sends 2 of the 12 ahead into the city. He gives them specific instructions. Go into Jerusalem. A man carrying a water jar will meet you. Follow him. He will show you a large upper room, already furnished. Prepare the Passover meal there. This level of prior arrangement, the water carrier, the room already known, tells you something. He has been planning this. Whatever this is, it has not been left to chance. The rest of the group moves carefully through the streets of Jerusalem. You keep your head down. You know that at least one senior priest has been asking questions about the teacher's movements. You've heard that someone close to the group, you don't know who, has been in contact with the temple authorities. The idea sits badly in your stomach, and you push it away. The city is overwhelming today. Passover Eve. The ritual slaughter of the lambs has just taken place in the temple. Thousands of families bringing their animals. The priests working in shifts to handle the volume. The smell of blood and smoke and incense rolls down from the Temple Mount into the lower city streets. You've smelled it every Passover of your life. Today it feels different. The markets near the temple are packed. Money changers, sellers of doves and lambs, pilgrims from every corner of the diaspora. Greek-speaking Jews from Alexandria, Aramaic speakers from the Galilee, Hebrew-educated priests moving through the crowds with authority. This is Jerusalem at its most itself, ancient, layered, holy, and deeply human all at once. You buy dried figs from a street vendor and eat them walking. You haven't been able to eat much this week. Something about the city, about the way the teacher has been speaking, about the look in his eyes when he watches the temple. It has taken your appetite. Earlier this week, he walked into the outer courts of that temple and overturned the tables of the money changers, scattered the cages of the dove sellers, called the whole operation a den of robbers. The crowd loved it. The priests did not. You watched from the colonnade and felt the ground shift beneath you in a way that had nothing to do with the earth. Since then, the chief priests and the scribes have been looking for a way to arrest him quietly. You've heard this from people on the edges of things, people who move between the priestly circles and the ordinary city. They want no public scene, not during Passover, not with 100,000 pilgrims packed into a city already nervous about Roman reprisals. They are waiting for the right moment. By late afternoon, you find the upper room. It's in the upper city, the wealthier district west of the Temple Mount, wider streets, larger houses. Someone with means has made this space available. The room is large. Stone floors, low ceiling, oil lamps already burning, a long table with cushions arranged around it. The smell of roasting lamb coming up from somewhere below. The preparations are already underway. Unleavened bread, bitter herbs, maror, to recall the bitterness of slavery. A thick paste of fruit and nuts, wine. The Seder meal, the same ritual every Jewish family in Jerusalem is preparing tonight. Remembering Egypt, remembering deliverance. You help carry things, set lamps, fill water jars. The work of preparation is familiar and grounding, and you're grateful for it. When your hands are busy, the feeling in your chest is easier to hold. The teacher arrives with the 12 as evening falls. The meal begins at sunset. You are not at the main table. That is for the 12. You eat nearby with the others who have been traveling with the group. But the room is not large, and you can hear everything. The teacher speaks more than usual during the meal. He takes the bread and breaks it and says something about his body. He takes the cup of wine and says something about his blood, about a covenant. The words are strange. You see the 12 exchanging glances. Nobody asks the question that is sitting in everyone's throat. At one point he says, "One of you will betray me." The room goes cold. You watch each of the 12, look at the others, and then look at themselves. You watch them ask, one by one, "Is it me?" The teacher answers quietly, and then Judas, one of the 12, the one who keeps the group's money, stands and leaves. Nobody stops him. You don't know where he's going, or you don't let yourself know. The meal continues. The teacher washes the feet of the 12. He talks about love. He talks about what is coming in a way that sounds like a farewell. The lamps burn low. Outside, Jerusalem is alive with the sounds of Passover. Prayers from open windows, the distant singing from other Seder meals. A city deep in its oldest ritual. In here, in this upper room, the air has the weight of something ending. You eat your bitter herbs. You drink your wine. You try to remember that this is a celebration. After the meal, the group moves out into the night. It is late. The city is quieter now. Most families inside for the Seder. A few oil lamps flicker in windows. You cross back through the lower city, out through the gate, across the Kedron Valley, back up the slope of the Mount of Olives to the garden. The teacher asks most of the group to sit and wait. He takes 3 of the 12, Peter and the 2 brothers, deeper into the garden. You can see them from where you're sitting, faint shapes among the olive trees. The teacher moves away from even them and kneels alone in the dark. You don't know what he's praying. The distance is too great, but you watch him, and you feel something you can't name. The olive trees are very old. Their trunks are twisted like rope, bark worn smooth by generations of hands. The city is very quiet. The moonlight comes through the branches and makes the ground look silver. The three he took deeper into the garden are supposed to be keeping watch, but you can see even from here that they are struggling. Their heads drop. The meal was long. The wine was poured 4 times, as the ritual requires. He walks back to them, wakes them, returns to pray alone. This happens more than once. One by one, the men around you fall asleep too. The day has been long. Passover night in Jerusalem. The smell of the city drifting across the valley. Smoke, animals, the lingering scent of roasting lamb. You feel like you should stay awake, like something requires it. Then you sleep too. You wake to torches. A crowd is moving into the garden from the lower path. Not pilgrims, not ordinary people, temple guards, armed, carrying clubs and swords. And with them, leading them, is Judas. What happens next takes less time than it should. Judas walks to the teacher and greets him. A kiss, the ordinary greeting between a student and his rabbi. The guards move forward. There is a moment of confusion. A blade drawn by someone in the group, a guard wounded, and then the teacher says something, and the fighting stops. He goes with them, and the group runs. You run, you don't decide to. Your legs decide. The darkness of the olive grove swallows you, and you keep moving, and you don't look back. Your heart is so loud in your chest, you can barely hear the sound of your own feet on the ground. You stop somewhere on the hillside, in the dark, breathing. Behind you, the torches are moving back down toward the city. So that was 24 hours as a follower of Jesus in ancient Jerusalem. Not the version told from a distance. The version lived on foot, in limestone streets, in a borrowed upper room, in a garden at midnight. The fear that moved through that group of Galileans during that week was real. The confusion was real. These were ordinary people, fishermen, laborers, women who had left their households to follow someone who spoke in a way they had never heard before. And they were now in the middle of something that had moved far beyond anything they had prepared for. History would record what happened next. The trial before Pilate, the crucifixion on a hill outside the city walls. And then the reports that began circulating 3 days later, reports that would divide Jerusalem, then Judea, then the known world. But on this particular night, standing on a hillside in the dark, watching torches move back toward a city that never fully sleeps, none of that had happened yet. The garden was quiet. The city was quiet. And the people who had followed him from Galilee were scattered in the dark, alone trying to understand what they had just witnessed. Thanks for watching Lives of the Ancients. Reconstructing experiences like this one, historically grounded, humanly honest, is what this channel is built on. If this journey through Jerusalem's final week meant something to you, hit subscribe for more immersive history and drop a comment. What ancient figure, soldier, merchant, or ordinary person should we follow next?